The OnePlus Open has absolutely ruined all other phones for me, including my very own iPhone 15, the Pixel 8 Pro, the Pixel 8, the Galaxy Z Flip 5, you name it. Now look, I'll be honest, if you are looking for a spec reading kind of review, you've come to the wrong spot, okay? My video will be based on my own personal experience using the phone because specs on paper mean one thing, but user experience tells a whole different story. So let's talk about some of the things that I love about the phone, and I think you guys will too. And the first thing is the charging speeds. I mention this in every video about the OnePlus Open because it's just so refreshing. OnePlus did an incredible design with the 2-cell battery, so it keeps the stress of fast charging down to a bare minimum. I mean, we're talking about 0 to 100% in around 35 minutes. That is absolutely wild. If this is not the fastest charging foldable in the world, then I truly don't know what is. It's definitely the fastest here in the States. This came in handy just the other day. I was testing out the battery life of the OnePlus Open. Of course, you're not going to put it on the charger when you're trying to see how long it can last without the charger, because that's the whole point of a battery test. But I got a call, hey, do you want to go downtown? I said, heck yeah, count me in. I put the phone on the charger, which by the way is included in the box. And then I took a quick shower, put on some clothes, brushed my teeth. By the time I was done with all that, the phone was at 53%. No other phone could have done that for me. Another thing that I love, and I think you guys will too, is the new hinge design. It hides the crease so good. Sometimes, I mean, look, if I even light the display up, you cannot see the crease. It just feels like sometimes I even forget that I'm holding a folding phone. It looks like I'm holding like one big piece of glass. It is truly that good. But the crease is one part of the story. The other part of the story is the actual reflectivity of this kind of plastic layer that's on the main screen. Before we continue, guys, a quick word from today's sponsor, trendmicro. Whether you're working from home, working with crypto, or just shopping online, hacking is at an all-time high. With trendmicro's premium security suite, you'll get access to maximum security protection for PC, Mac, Android, iOS, and even Chromebook. Now, it comes with many benefits, but my personal favorite after a year of using it is the password manager, which generates hard to guess passwords, and it even has keystroke encryption, which helps protect you against keyloggers, which is a type of malware that literally sees everything that you type. Using the mobile app is super easy and it walks you through everything that needs to be fixed, so you'll have the confidence in knowing that you are as protected as possible. The computer app is also super user friendly and you don't have to dig around to find something that you're looking for. So protect yourself today by using the link down below and make sure you use code MARK10 to get 10% off your order. See, the biggest downside to me when it comes to foldable phones sold here in the States is that the main display is so reflective. And of course, that plastic layer is going to get a lot of fingerprints on it. So when a screen is very reflective, you have a ton of fingerprints on it, you're going to be able to see those fingerprints more than the actual content that you're watching. But thanks to the 2800 nit display, those fingerprints just don't even appear. And on top of that, it's also anti-glare. So that means the reflectivity is just so low on this massive display. For example, I have the Z Flip 5 here, which has the same screen technology as its bigger folding brother, and you can clearly see the difference in screen reflectivity. It is wild. So I have to give another thumbs up to OnePlus for actually improving the user experience of a foldable phone. You know, what was once annoying is now pretty much fixed. This phone has also surprised me with its spatial audio. Other foldable phones sold here in the States have 2 speakers, which is quite normal if you don't have a folding phone like the iPhone. You get a speaker up top, then you have another speaker on the bottom. There you go. The Galaxy Z Fold 5, for example, same form factor as this. Basically, it's a foldable phone, right? You have a speaker up top and a speaker on the bottom. But since it's a wider area, it just feels off when you're watching content. Like, you can actually hear the sound coming from only one side of the phone, so it just feels a bit off. But with the OnePlus Open, you have 3 speakers. You get one on the bottom, just like on the Galaxy Z Fold 5 and really any other phone. But you also have one up top, again, similar to the Fold 5, but you have a third on this side of the display. So what that means is that you get the spatial audio effect, and once you turn it on and off in the settings, you can keep toggling it back and forth and hear the difference in real time. You honestly do hear the difference. It is not a gimmick. You fully hear kind of that spatial effect. The speakers on here are absolutely crazy. It balances out the sound perfectly, so if you're doing your Netflix binge or you're even through TikTok, it just sounds very, very crisp. Now we get to the cameras, which might be my favorite part of this foldable phone. There are no compromises. The cameras, from what I've noticed, along with many others, they don't over sharpen the photos like some other phones do. You don't get that typical kind of smartphone look. This results in a photo that just looks natural. It looks like something you would expect out of an actual camera. I don't think I've ever taken a bad photo from this phone. Even the portrait mode is just fantastic with edge detection, and of course that 3x lens also has fantastic quality. And since that telephoto lens is 64 megapixels, OnePlus even gives you a preset to use the 6x digital zoom, and it honestly looks like optical zoom. The quality is there. And to be honest, you could even zoom in 30 times and you would still get a pretty darn good result. Now, is this going to compete with the S23 Ultra and its zoom range? Of course not. The S23 Ultra past 10 times zoom uses that 10 times telephoto camera. This does the 3 times telephoto camera, but as you guys saw, even that 30 times digital zoom looks pretty good. Is it something that I'm going to post on Instagram and expect to get 1,000+ likes? Of course not, but if you need that moment, you can capture it. This is the first foldable phone that I've used that honestly I can say does not compromise on the cameras. I mean, Jesus, look at it. The camera housing takes up half of the phone. You would expect it to take good photos, and it does. The video quality on the OnePlus Open is also pretty good, which kind of shocked me as OnePlus was never really great with video, but it seems to be doing quite well here. The rear cameras go up to 4K 60, but the front cameras, the selfie camera, goes up to 4K 30, which is kind of a letdown considering the price, but I don't take a ton of selfie video, so if you do, definitely keep that in mind. The operating system is also fantastic. I love how it carries some of the stuff from the Samsung phones, such as the taskbar that's on the bottom for easy and fast app switching, as well as the Edge bar, which lets you pin kind of your favorite apps and smoothly transition between them. Honestly, the animations on this phone are buttery smooth. I mean, even when it comes to multitasking, it is just so smooth. I haven't had a single hiccup, which of course, that 16 gigs of RAM really plays a big part in that. Another thing you're gonna notice on a day-to-day basis is just how light this phone is. Don't get me wrong, it's heavy, but for a folding phone, it is incredibly light. But check this out, it is actually 1 gram lighter than the iPhone 14 Pro Max, a phone that doesn't fold. You're basically holding the same weight as an iPhone 14 Pro Max, but it opens. That is crazy. This phone comes in at just 239 grams. To put that in perspective, the Pixel Fold is 283 grams. To further put that in perspective, you could take this phone, right, put an Apple Watch Series 9 45mm one, the larger one, on top of it, and it would still be 5 grams lighter than the Pixel Fold. So you can imagine the weight of this phone plays a huge role in the comfort level of this phone. This phone is really comfortable to use. But no phone is perfect, so let's talk about the downsides of the OnePlus Open. The first of which is that there is no official IP rating. This phone cannot be submerged underwater. So if you're a fan of submerging your very expensive tech underwater, this phone is not for you. It will, though, survive your occasional rain, heavy rain downpour. That's not a problem, but do not submerge this phone underwater. It won't survive. Another downside, especially for the price, is that there is no wireless charging. Personally, I don't really care. This phone charges so quick, 35 minutes from 0 to 100, that I never even needed to put it on a wireless charger, especially because they're all so slow. I don't see any point. I have a wireless charger right there. I have a wireless charger right there. I have a wireless charger in my bedroom, in the kitchen. I have them all over the house. I just didn't really need to ever put it in the wireless charger because the battery life has been amazing and it just charges really fast. But for those that do need wireless charging, this phone's not for you. Speaking of battery life, you can get between 7 to 8 hours on a full charge. Again, this all depends on your usage. If you play a lot of games, well, obviously your battery life is going to go down. I'm getting between 7 to 8 hours. I do not play any games, so do keep that in mind. Overall, the OnePlus Open is the best folding phone that is sold here in the States. I have no issue saying that whatsoever. This phone has absolutely blown my mind every single day. So what do you guys think about the OnePlus Open? Let me know your comments down below. And as always, this was Mark from Mark's Tech. Adios.